I'm so excited today because I get to have a conversation with my eldest son, Kingston. We've done a podcast before and it was so great. It's such a beautiful and wonderful and honorable thing to be able to sit down with your child and ask them questions and just know that they're going to be honest and truthful and encouraging. So I hope that you are encouraged as you listen to Kingston and I's conversation just about helping our children to transition well in their next season of life. I'm so excited to start this conversation. And, I just want to tell you, listeners, thank you for joining and thank you for pulling up a seat. We love to have just real conversations about real life topics because we're a real life family who does things, who goes through things, who've had to learn to navigate things. So I have the honor and the privilege to have my oldest son here, Kingston.
Yeah.
Say
it's
hello.
Gonna be a good time. Hello, all of you listeners. It's going to be a great time. This isn't my first time doing a podcast with my mother, but it is my second. So it's going to be great.
It is. Yeah. We have, here's the thing. We're not just sitting down this time and this time only to have a conversation. We have lots of conversation. I think that's one thing that I've learned from your dad you have also is that he is a great communicator and he has forced us
yes
he has helped us, guided us, led us. That's the term. He has led us to be great communicators, or at least to work at being great communicators.
Yeah, because, for me, it's like being a communicating isn't something that I like to do or want to do or whatever, but I do know that it's important, mostly from watching the both of you. And it's fun seeing you. I call you Super Mom sometimes now.
You do?
Because of... Yeah, have you never heard me call you that?
No,
That's
I
funny.
haven't.
Well, I call you Super Mom to my 3 younger brothers, mostly the younger 2, because whenever we were little, you were just learning how to be a mom as well. So being the first child is great, but then also, you kind of get the practice of things, and you're still a great mom, but learning and seeing you and Dad learn how to communicate as well too, because you guys basically, had me right not that long after you guys got married. And so just watching the process of you becoming a good communicator with him and with us has been great. And so he's really helped me to see that and to realize that, and just seeing you guys communicate and walk through life together has been great too.
Yeah,
so
it's powerful.
Yeah.
And communication is not what we're going to talk about, but it's a great tool, and it's, we don't have to communicate, but communicating makes life so much easier, especially learning to communicate within a family.
Right.
It's vital.
Right.
It's vital because I can't know what you're thinking, and if you don't talk to me, then I'll never know, or I'll just make guesses, or I'll put words in your mouth, and you're like, I didn't say that.
Right.
Anyways, so I wanted to talk about you're in a season of transition in your life. You're 18. You're on the verge of moving out of the house, of, just becoming your own man and your own family, so to speak. And it's saddening, but exciting, for a mom, especially. It's the first time I'm launching somebody into the world. I was actually sitting on the couch the other morning. I got up before, as usual, I got up to pray, spend time with the Lord. I got up early and I was just thinking, it's so wonderful to have all my kids at home. Because we're busy, and you guys, especially the older 2, you're doing your own thing, and sometimes you're not home and just whatever. And so I was thinking, wow, it's so awesome that I know where everybody is. They're at home, they're in their beds, they're sleeping. And I was like, oh my gosh, this isn't going to be for very much longer. Kingston's going to
Right.
have his own phone. Oh, own phone. You have your own phone. You're going to have your own home, and it'll just be a different season. So we're in a lot of transition. And so with transition, I would think, because we've been communicating about this, that you're thinking about the transition, how it's going to go, what it's going to look like. Like you're in this, I don't want to say scary, but you're going on your own adventure. It's like you're developing a new map, or you've opened up a new map, and it's one that you haven't seen yet, but you've imagined, and it's time for you to do it on your own. So with that and navigating transition, what have you learned? Like, because this is like a very important, vital time. Like, you can make vows, or you can say, I'm not going to do this, instead of really sitting back and reflecting and saying, I learned this and I'm going to take this, but then I have some new things that I'm going to add to. So what does that look like for you, and how have you transitioned, and how have we helped you?
Yeah. So, you guys have really made it easy for me in the sense that, like, I feel like I can come to you guys and talk to you guys about things. And so, there's things just practically in life that I don't know how to do because I haven't done them yet. Like I was just thinking about the other day, I was like, I've never actually tried to like register a car or something like that. But the great thing is even with going out and stepping out and doing my own thing is that, like, I know you guys are there for me.
Right.
Just not just right now while I'm living in your home, but then also too while I'm out. And so, and the other side to it that you guys have made easy is the fact that that you guys have actually let me step out, and even before I was 18 or whatever, step out and make my own decisions and make my own choices, and sometimes see great things and sometimes see not so great things. And so with doing that, it's made me be able to come back to you guys and just talk to you about things and ask you about things and just whatever, because you didn't constrain me while I wasn't 18 yet. Like, you didn't be like, you can't do this until you're 18. You can't do this until you're 18. You can't make any decisions for yourself until you're an adult. You can't do anything until you're moved out and whatever. And so you guys didn't do that. You actually, from the time I was probably like 14, started, just releasing things to me, and just even probably younger than that, just releasing me to make decisions and being like, do you feel like this is the right thing? Do you know this is the right thing? Are you making the right decision? Is this the right choice for you right now? Is this a good thing that you're doing? Like, all of those kinds of things, you guys let me make those decisions while I was under the covering of your house. And I still am, because I still live with you guys. But it's just, a different dynamic now.
So that's actually built some confidence in you.
Oh, for sure.
To seek wisdom from somebody else, but then know that you can make decisions.
Yeah.
And that you know how to weigh out choices.
Yep.
And consequences are a real thing if you don't make the right choice, but that there is grace to cover.
Yeah.
And
because I know that you guys
choice.
are never just going to abandon me because I make a wrong decision.
Right.
Like, I know that. And so, and I know, because of what you guys have taught me and mostly showed me through your relationship with the Lord, is that the Lord's never going to abandon me because I make a wrong decision as well.
Hallelujah.
And
for
so,
that.
in just seeing that, because I've seen you guys make some not great decisions.
What? What are you saying right now? That we've made bad choices?
I mean, a few. Yeah. But I mean, a lot of good choices too. So I've gotten to see, both sides of it from you guys.
You've learned from our mistakes.
Yes, which is a great thing.
It is a great thing.
And so, and you're only super mom now because you made mistakes,
right.
And then seeing the consequences of those things. And like, you didn't make any major mistakes with me, obviously. But yeah, it's just super good just seeing you guys walk out your relationship with me and with the Lord. And so I know that, like, the Lord is my ultimate source of everything. And so, and I also know that he's never going to leave me or forsake me or abandon me.
Yeah.
and that he'll always be with me.
That's
So,
powerful. So,
yeah.
so having confidence, like you feel pretty confident, very confident that you're going to be able to leave home and launch well.
Yeah, and the thing that makes me feel confident, because like I said, there's things that I don't know at the moment that I'll find out whenever I move out and start a family and whatever, do all those kinds of things. There's things that I'll find out, but you guys are there, and I know that the Lord is always with me, and he'll never leave me and never forsake me. And his grace is more than enough for me and all of my mistakes that I'll make in my life.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And that if you seek wisdom, that you'll find it.
Yes.
And usually then you can avoid the consequences.
Yeah.
That it's okay to go slow. I think that you don't have to rush or make a brash decision. You've seen us rush and make
Yes.
some poor choices, which have usually cost us.
Yeah.
Because they're usually been financial
things.
Those have been our poor things, which is awesome because I think that has showed you the importance of, navigating just that and having wise counsel around you. So,
yeah, and that's something that I've even just started to do lately, is just placing myself in a position with other people, to have counsel from other people, which is also a super important thing that you guys have told me and shown me to do, and all of that stuff. And so yeah, so I like, even in just the launching, like I feel confident in the fact that I don't know everything, but that you guys are there, and that I've placed other people around me, and that the Lord is with me. And so I feel confident in launching out because of those things, not because I know everything.
that's
and and actually I don't know everything, and I do know that. And so
there you go. That is the key to life, realizing that you don't know everything.
right. Yeah.
And that you will be, well, you don't have to, but you can make a choice to be in a constant state of growing and learning and going. And just what you said, positioning yourself with wise counsel. There are people who have went before you. And actually, I read a book called Bending Time or whatever, and one of the keys to bending time was to learn from other people.
Yeah.
Like glean wisdom from other people, actually learn from their mistakes, because if you learn from their mistakes, then you don't have to make those mistakes.
Right.
And you can go forward from the things that they learned. So I think that is, so you're talking a little bit about of saying like staying humble.
Yeah.
Remaining in this place of acknowledging I don't know everything,
Yep.
and that's okay.
Yes.
Because we're not supposed to be know-it-alls.
Right. We're supposed to be seek-it-alls.
Yeah.
We seek to know all things, but we, like, it's going to be something for the rest of our life, for the rest of my life, to where I don't know everything. But I do know that you guys are, you and Dad are a few steps ahead of where I am, because you've bought houses, you've made bad decisions with houses, you've bought cars, and
made bad decisions
with cars. You have a
Why are you telling me all of my failure?
No, but it really is good, because then I'm able to bend time.
Yeah.
And because I get to learn from your guys' mistakes in that. And so for like all of just the parents listening, just something I'll just say to you with raising your kids, and I haven't done this yet, but I am raised and being raised. And so is let your kids make decisions while they still live with you. And I know one thing that you guys have done is you haven't been afraid of me making a bad decision. And
which is so hard. I'm just going to say it's real hard.
Yeah, and like I thank you guys for that, because I have made bad decisions while still being in your house, and then you've been able to help me with those decisions. Now there's things that, like, obviously you guys were like, no, and whatever, like, that's wrong, like, you can't make that decision, but it's let me be able to make decisions and just stay under the covering of your guys' house. So parents, like, just don't be afraid to let your kids make bad decisions. And so, and obviously, like, you guide them and help them and all of those things, but don't be afraid that they'll make the wrong choice and mess up. And obviously, if it's life or death something, like, that's a different story, but most decisions aren't.
They're
And
just learning to navigate.
They're just learning to navigate. And so, so it's a super important thing, because what will happen whenever your kids get older is if you don't let them make decisions, then they'll either go out and move out of your house and make bad decisions and have no one to help them because they don't trust you because you didn't let them make any decisions while they still lived in your house. Or they'll just rebel and then they'll make bad decisions anyways.
And run far from you.
And run far from you. And it could be a long time before you ever, get to be with them again.
Yeah.
And so letting your kids make decisions while, I have a hard time saying that word, letting your kids make decisions while they're in your home is a super important thing. And it's to me, one of the most important things that you guys have done with me is let me make decisions for myself and see the consequences of those things, but then also know that I can come back to you guys and come back to the Lord, and that you guys aren't going to be angry at me, and but you'll just want to help me through all of that.
And I would say probably 8 out of 10 times, so 8 out of 10 decisions, that 8 of them have been good choices. They might not have been actually what I would have chose.
Right. Because we're different people,
that's
too.
That's right. That's so vital. I think as parents that we need to realize is that we're not raising ourselves. We're raising our children who are not us. Therefore, some of their choices aren't going to be about us. I can remember the first time I started hearing about this, just as moms, like, how do we let go and how do we let them make their own decisions? And it's so scary. And how do you get through the fear? And they just were, saying, like, at young ages, let them start making particular choices and seeing the consequences, safe choices, like, how do you want to wear your hair?
Right.
Do you want to cut it all off? Okay. The only stipulation that your dad ever said is no man buns, okay?
Right.
And I think you guys were all fine with honoring that. But if you want to have long hair, if you want to get a haircut, if you don't want to get a haircut, if you want to get a haircut by somebody else that we don't want to pay, then you have to do that yourself. But I think that was vital. And that is like choosing how you're going to wear your hair is like not life or death.
Right. In the end, it's going to grow back.
Yeah, and you then had that choice. And it gave you some independence, and it gave you some empowerment and a good place and confidence of like, I get to make this choice for myself. And then I think another first one that we heard, I was like, cleaning your rooms, like whenever you turn 13, if you want to live in trash and garbage, then live in trash and garbage, like whatever. I don't have to live in that place. So you can do whatever you want. I rather you clean your room, but whatever. And then I can remember a story of somebody saying that because their room was trash, they didn't do their laundry, and therefore they didn't have their uniform. And so the mom had to do the laundry and bring the uniform to the kid, and she had to pay her because she didn't do that for herself. And then I think one other thing was like they didn't clean their room and they got bugs. So then they had to pay the exterminator to come and take care of the bugs because they left food in their room. And so like those aren't life or death things. So it's like you see the consequence. And then like of a haircut, like if you shave all your head bald and you hate it,
it's going to grow back.
Then that's the choice that you made, and you have to live with that decision until it grows back. And so those are safe, places. So starting to learn and teach your kids how to make those choices, but then make them for yourself. Because I wouldn't get my hair shaved. And actually, when you were younger, I chose to never shave your heads. But that was my choice. Like I picked your haircut and whatever. But as you get older, because you're who you are, you can make those choices. And the thing is that if we don't let our children have those choices for themselves, they can start building resentment, which is the
100%.
first places where you lose connection.
Yeah.
And I think that we don't realize because of fear, which causes us to control, that we begin to develop resentment in our relationships with our children. And it's not worth it.
Yeah.
It's not. It's not worth them making them conform to what it is. Like I said, you like being honorable. And I think, honorable and respectable, like those are so important and we want that. But like if you have to demand it, is it really respect? Or usually respect is built because you have a great relationship and they want to be
it's
honoring.
Not honor or respect. It's just fear of you coming against them.
Right. And then the thing that the children start saying is, I can't wait till I get out and I am going to be out of here so soon. And I don't really like you and I'm not going to communicate with you and just leave me alone.
Right. And then they won't. And then they'll make bad decisions whenever they turn 18 and move out. They'll make bad decisions and you can't do anything about it. And except for, pray for them and whatever.
Right.
But they're an adult. And so you can't, spank them or lock them in their room or something.
I wish that you could. No, just kidding.
But yeah, so if you don't let them make decisions, then they'll go out and they could make good decisions and that could be great, but they could also make really terrible bad decisions, and then they not know that you love and you care about them and want the best for them and want to help them walk through what the bad decisions that they made.
Right.
And so, and they also, if you're not a good example of how God loves you, then how are they going to know that God loves them?
Yeah.
And how are they going to know that God won't forsake them?
Yeah.
And so you guys have done that very well.
Yeah.
And just letting me know that God will never leave me or never forsake me because of your walk with him.
Yeah. Well, that's awesome.
So,
well, thanks for just spending some time sitting down with me. It's great to hear that
Yeah.
I'm super mom. I mean, I love that.
You're great.
I've learned, and you guys have extended so much grace and mercy. Well, the Lord extends grace. You've shown me so much mercy because I haven't parented perfect all the time, but
you have been a great mom.
We are learning and growing together, and I think that is a good nugget to take. Know you're learning and growing as a parent, and you need mercy, and your kids are learning and growing as children, and they need mercy.
Yep.
And just extend mercy to each other, take deep breaths, work on building connection, and know that God loves you and allow him to parent you, because I believe as we realize the Lord is parenting us, then we can learn how to parent through that. And the Lord extends so much grace and mercy to us, and then we can extend grace and mercy. So thank you so much for listening. And I hope that you gain some, insight in this conversation and parent well and start letting your kids make decisions and choices for themselves.
Yeah, it's good.
Thanks for tuning in to this week's episode of Family by Design. I pray that you were blessed as you listen to the word of the Lord for your life today. I want to encourage you to go on and leave us a review and a 5-star rating. If this ministry is blessing you, go to our website at www.whartonmen.org. There you can find more resources, and you can also consider partnering with this ministry. If you like what we're doing, we just pray that you would at least join us in prayer and consider supporting us financially as we take the gospel deep into the hearts of people. Gospel preached, hearts awakened, and nations reformed.